What's going on, bro?
I'm good, bro. You?
All is well, man. You know, bro.
I'm good, bro. You? Huh?
All is
You hear
well.
me?
You know,
Wait. Oh wait,
there's a big delay on something.
let me mute. Let me.
You hear me?
I gotta mute Instagram. Oh wait,
There's a big delay on something.
let me mute. Let me.
You hear me?
I gotta mute Instagram.
Very weird.
Okay, you can hear me, all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I had to mute Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, what is the point of this podcast?
This one. There's just I do need to have an episode coming up on the 20th. And I think about point of it for me, I thought I was like, all right, we haven't done a podcast in a long time. I
think you just haven't been doing a good job of recording our conversations, but continue.
That as well. Sometimes they come up and I think about it, and then it's now that I think a lot more about the sound. I'm like, I have no excuses. Yeah, I have no excuses.
Yeah, I would say the best thing you could try to do is start to schedule quiet places to be, because sometimes I guess we have conversations, but some places you think might be quiet. No, but they got new AI that takes all the noise out. So even if you do it in a loud place, no excuse. But I feel like the podcast is something that we always do, but I realized that we do have to put actual energy into making episodes or recording a conversation high enough quality that they can be shared on these platforms.
Yeah. I take responsibility for a lot of it. Because I'm the person that's supposed to. I'm the person that's responsible more or less for making it so that the stuff that we do can provide us with some type of substance so that we can continue to do it, and then being able to continuously feedback in that effort and refine it. And there's a lot that I've been learning while doing that specific task, and my my how I traditionally looked at, I guess you could say, how I allocated my time. I haven't been thinking as use my mind in the best set of ways. So that's why I really appreciate the type of working together that we've had, and it's allowed us to get a lot done. At the same time, it's allowed me to really see that a lot of the stuff that I guess a lot of my own trial and error, I kind of have to go that on my own. I have to do a lot of my own trial and error. You said that before, but I have to do a lot of my own trial and error on certain things before I can even kind of present them to you as ideas that we could put in both of our efforts towards, in essence.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times it comes down to that. I mean, the thing about trial and error, you can use somebody else's trials and try to see if you could work out their errors. And that's why it's good to share and tell people about what you're working on, because especially if you got the right people around you and you share it with them, you could tell them what it is, and they can tell you, oh, well, at this point in my journey, I learned this or experienced this. And then you could be like, oh, okay. That gave me another idea. Like today, I was talking a lot to this artist that when I heard his music the first time it was performing live, you had booked him. He performed live, and I heard his music, and I was like, wow, his music and stage presence is exceptional. And I felt like, wow, his stuff is exceptionally good. Like I believed him. Like I believed his music, I believed his sound, I believe that the energy that it made me feel was true to him. Like he was making that from him, the core of his being. Like he didn't just figure out how to make music sound good and did it. Like he actually, was sharing his real soul and passion when he did that. And I recently spoke to him a lot, and during the conversation, it's more like a consult. It's like my first ever consultation. I wasn't paid for it, but it's my first ever time I feel like I really had a consultation where I was just telling the artist what to do to enhance what they were doing and get to the next level and have everything they need. I gave him tools, I gave him processes, I gave him information, and he was very receptive. And he wasn't recording before now.
Yeah, I had paused it when you initially joined in. I thought it'd be like that.
I hate when I hate that it distracts me so much.
I know that hurt me too, because I felt like I recorded that. It's live streamed. So get on the
cool.
Twitch.
That's good. So yeah, well, talking to him, he was so receptive until it enabled me to say a lot more than I'd ever said before, kind of about that. And yeah, yo, I came up with this whole touring scheme.
Mm.
And he was like, yo, you should be an artist manager. And I was like, word, really, what I'm learning is how to be a manager by working with somebody else who's also trying to learn how to be a manager. And we work together, and we able to see what each other's blind spots and the certain things we can get accomplished by working like that. But the touring thing was, just to drop that on you right quick. The touring thing was that really you need to find somebody to do the phone calls. You find somebody to do the phone calls. You pick a city. You find somebody to do the phone calls. You call all the bars in the city and ask to do a show. Tell them you don't want to charge anything to do the show, but you just want to help you get sound equipment, and you want to bring down the musicians and do a great show. If possible, you want to sell tickets or have a suggested donation tickets, so that people can pay and put it on Eventbrite and put on a great show for the people in your community. People are like, wow, that's really great. I thank you for coming on. Nobody ever comes here. Okay, cool. You get the bar, you got the show. Now, back in the day, somebody had to go there first and like set the town up.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it so remotely now. You could go online, find the staples in that town or the best printing service in that town, and get or print quality posters in your city, put them on an envelope, and mail a waterproof envelope, and mail them down there. Person on like TaskRabbit or Fiverr or Instagram that you met, and you pay that person $20, $10 to go to different places in town where posters can go and be up, and put the posters up, put it in the pizza restaurant, put it in there, in a cafe, in a library, at the school, the posters up around town, and they take pictures of you and send it to you. You use those pictures for social media posts to show like, oh, town, I'm coming. When you post it and tag it and promote it in town, people will see the familiar places in the post like, oh yeah, I know. Oh, wow, this artist comes to this town. Let's check out the next video. The next video is a promotional video of you like performing at a performance you had in New York City where it's packed out and people loving it. It's a great show. People will be like, oh, nobody ever comes out of town. I'm curious about checking this out. You actually get people who would generally want to come to the show. And you could get 30, 40, 50 people to come out to the show and probably make money, bring merch, repeat that multiple cities. And that's pretty much it. There's artists who done that and did whole world tours like that. Who I'm talking about?
Russ.
No, gotta be somebody you actually know, fam. Come on, Russ.
Oh.
You can say the name.
Oh, around the world?
Yes, man. Around the world. You're not even paying attention, man, if you can't
One
say this
person I think of is the
Who?
saxophonist, Masego.
That you know? You know him?
Right, you said that I know.
When'd you meet him?
Okay, I guess that I know. I know Ohani, but I don't think Ohani did that. Only person I know is the the girls.
Two twin girls.
The girls aren't in Vietnam. And then Chris Carr.
Two twin girls. There's no two twin girls that
Not
was
twin
in
girls,
Vietnam. They're in Maine.
Oh, word.
One of them was back in Vietnam. One's like,
and then whatchamacallit? Bad Trip, Tsunami.
What are you talking about? Man, people who to name, but there's one person. There's one person, the most inspirational story, any indie artist that I know right now that is only about positivity, personal development, growth. From the time we met him, he was that day. And that small room, playing for small rooms, giving real shows to real people. He did that here, all of the East Coast, else in America, in Europe, multiple times, multiple trips in the past year. Beatbox poet.
Oh, right.
How you gonna not? You gotta recognize who's really doing it. Who's doing it like beatbox poet, man? When I see him every time from the time, I'm happy. He's the first artist I met. Back. Literally, the first artist I met. City after coming back here was Miles Beatbox Poet. We showed up to the venue and he was there.
You're breaking up some every now and then.
We showed up to the venue and he was there.
Right.
And we saw him perform and we saw how his performance was and the energy that it gave to those people. And he's been doing that all around the world, all around the coast. Who knows how much money he's made or how much merch you have his t-shirt, don't you?
Yep.
And you didn't think to say him first? Come on. Come on, think about it. You know he sells merch. You know he's been all around the world. You know he's inspired people. All his videos are so like human and like connected. And it's beautiful. I hope he makes good money doing what he does. I hope those people all can find it in their heart to actually support him financially beyond when he came to their town. He deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
From a smaller town like that. So he understands them too a little deeper. Us people in the city we get kind of distracted by the city life so much. But Miles, nah, I never got that from him. The whole time he's been that. And it's beautiful. And I'd like to see more people do what he's did. Now, some people do it sporadically in chunks. I know there's people get out there, and there's people I know who've been out there. I don't even know everything that they do. Like you got there's people they do. They're next. You'll see them next soon. You'll look up and you'll see them next. Phil Flames said that. I believe that. I can see that. I can see that. Even though he went from New York to Florida. I know that when he's down there, I saw him like making content and doing. He's probably people in the small community probably like, I love that guy, that rapper from New York City, Phil Flames. Wherever he lives at, I know that people when they see him interact with him, they're probably like, he's a cool dude, you know. He probably inspires people. And so it's like for people that like that, just go and visit these small towns in America where people just like, you know, maybe they just got like regular basic lives, yo. Like, you know, where like, you know, a lot of the kids all move to the big cities to chase their dreams or something else. And in those towns, all you got is like the older people and the young people who stuck around and work like the small jobs in the community, you know, like trade jobs and stuff. And seeing something different would just give them some different energy, yo. And they appreciate that. It ain't no big deal. It's not a big music industry to them. They probably don't even use Spotify. They got the stuff that they love, the radio stations they listen to. And those small towns like that is where you could do a lot of good. And when you say that, a lot of times, you know, because it's America, you think about like how it might be set up. It might you don't imagine those places having a lot of Black people. So there's also another side of that where, like, you know, I think that's important too. That time sometimes comes with another connotation. I haven't seen anybody do it on that level. I would like to see somebody do that. Where who's the artist we know that just goes to all the urban neighborhoods, all the Black neighborhoods, all the different neighborhoods in different cities, and just like perform for all different types of people. Like, you know, a lot of times there's so many people who just don't recognize the communities that they could be serving. People who appreciate what you bring to the table. And so it's like, you know, as an artist, you just got to step into it. It requires a small bit of a team. You know, somebody got to make the phone call. Somebody got to make the phone calls. You get somebody to make the phone calls. You could do it yourself. I was like, you know what, yo, I'm gonna start making phone calls tomorrow. And you know, and just said go all in, like making those phone calls, doing that due diligence, maybe doing it for one whole day. I'll probably give me so much reward, but I never did it. A lot of times that's what happens to us as people. That's why we need teams. That's why teamwork is important. Because for one person to do everything that was required to achieve anything, they would have to be a superhuman almost compared to other people. And there's some people who they do so much and they seem superhuman, but they still got a huge team. Like you said, Kevin Hart, for example. He has a team of people who've been working with him for quite some time. But he definitely does a lot on his own. Do I think he knows how to edit videos? I don't know. Is he a photographer? Is he a videographer? Does he know how to mix and master music? Does he know how to book a tour? Does he know how to do marketing in different cities? Does he have a marketing scheme he can go down? Can he lead a team? I think so. And most of those things, he knows how to wear a lot of hats. And he also knows how to hire people who do wear the right hats and work the way he wants them to work. You know, it's all required. I think that teamwork is not family. Family is different. Family has a huge spectrum. It can be any type of way. It's a beautiful thing to have a family that can be a team. Like if you go in a place and there's like a family that actually like work as a team, it looks nice to see the mom, the kids, and you're like, wow, I can see this family in here working as a team to run this restaurant or whatever. That's a nice thing. Sometimes family might miss some marks. A lot of times family businesses struggle. The minute the business try to evolve, is when one member of the family says, "Hey, we got to take this to the next level," and they stop putting family in certain positions.
Mm.
If you're not qualified, it becomes about qualifications. I don't want a qualified person to do this. I don't want a qualified person to do that. Sometimes not everybody's qualified to do certain tasks or carry on certain energy. And the qualifications, where do they come from? Like, it comes from, developing a sense of skillfulness and what skillfulness is. A lot of times family doesn't require skillfulness. Teams, it requires skillfulness. A skillful family is great. It's perfect. A skillful team is required in order to stay together as a team. Everybody got to have skills, to have a good team, But a long time ago, I used to try to do everything by myself. And there's some things that I was focusing on trying to do all the million things I need to do. I miss out on certain developmental things. So I wasn't developing as fast. And now I'm at a point where I guess I develop faster. And my team growing ability is getting there in a way where like I'm meeting people who I'm meeting people I'm meeting people who I can be inspired by my conversation with them. That's very important for me.
Mm.
Like, when I was talking to the when I was talking to the when I was talking to the artist earlier, he actually I need it because I actually do need it. There's one right here. And there's one under the TV stand in the living room too, right? No, right here. It's tangled up on this black thing. See it dangling down? Here. It's dangling down right in front of your face. Look up. Yes. Yeah, what was I talking about?
Team talking with the artists, different conversations that
Yeah,
inspire
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So what that happened was he listened so well and he let me he let me get a lot of things out, and I came out with really good ideas. And then he was like, "Word, let's get to it." And so then we were able to give him the call to action. Now I put the ball back in his court and gave him some homework to do and gave him some tools to use.
Mm-hmm.
And he it seemed like he was going to go forward with it. Like he knew that what I was telling him was something he could use. And I gave him an immediate call to action. And he was like, "Yeah, let's put in work." And his energy is one that's like, "Yeah, man, I believe this guy. And his music is great. Let's go. Push, man.
Mm-hmm.
Push, fam. Go ahead. Get it. I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you, fam. Go ahead. Get it. I believe you." Uh uh,
You're breaking up a bit.
and I'm like, all right, let's see him. My fault. My fault. Let me go downstairs for a second. 0 and 7. Thank you. Yeah. Tell him I had to tell him. Yeah, but I gave him the tools. See, the tools sometimes when you're really working on something big, teaching your neighbor how to fish means that we all eat more. In some situations, that it don't equal that. Like teaching somebody else how to do something doesn't mean it's going to make you better at doing it or benefit you moving forward. But in some situations, and in most situations, altruistically, helping somebody else move forward is going to help you. If you're dealing with like-minded people, you're all benefiting each other by doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. Hold on one second. It's like Dragon Ball Z. I had a lot to say today. I kind of had a lot to put out there, information wise, and things to say. Like, what you got? What's your take on this stuff I've been saying?
It mirrors what I've been. It kind of mirrors the content that I see. I always see the Jay McKee guy. He's talking about being an executive, and it's it for me it makes. I thought my one specific thought I had was that a lot of skills that I tend to there's a lot of skills that I want to be good at, and I want to be good at them more so just to be able to be good at them. But I know that some people are way better at them than I am. If they just take the insights that I have about those skills, about those processes, then they'd be able to implement them far better than I can.
Yeah, sometimes you do meet a person who's just like that, yo. Yo, you know what? You can get that done. But there's a thing where I was watching a philosopher podcast type of thing. A few things I saw, I didn't realize that was a thing. And sometimes you see it on something. Midnight Gospel showed you the episode when his computer kept telling him that something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so annoyed about reading the frequently asked questions and like figuring out the information on how to actually troubleshoot the computer. It was so difficult for him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why it's so hard for him to push through that? And they said, with doing anything great, the people who do it are the ones who are able to push through the initial irritation and frustration that comes with doing anything new. Think about anything new you ever did. Sometimes when you first time to get up and do it, you're like, all right. You start doing it, and you realize, oh, I actually like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's for anything. I realized that in my life with a yoga class. Somebody was like, I got a yoga class I do on Thursdays. Starts at 7 a.m. I'm like, all right, I'll try to pull up sometime. I didn't do it for a while. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to get up. Woke up. I said, I'll be feeling tired in the morning sometime. I'm going to go there. I woke up, went there, got there, felt like, all right, stretching and stuff. Kind of had some thoughts in my mind like, I know about yoga already. I know how it benefits me, but in my mind, I said to look at it from two sides. One side, I know about the benefits. I already practiced just a little tiny bit for myself. The other side of it is that you're doing it the way someone else is instructing you to do it. And that requires a certain openness. And, you know, you woke up early in the morning to do it, that required a certain type of discipline. So I pushed through. I went there and did that. I actually had to push through. Then when I get to the end of it, that feeling I feel is like, wow, pushing through was good. Oh, wow. I actually felt good. I'm happy I pushed. I'm happy I did that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel happy that I actually followed through with that because I didn't have to. I showed up for this yoga class. And I started to see more situations where I could just fall through. And I realized that, 90% of people they don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Failing at something is not really failure. We got to change the word. Failing at something is the real failure is not ever doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You actually did it. You actually did it though. That's not a real failure because you actually got up and did it. But to make it a success, you got to learn something. That's the thing. You got to complete it. Failure is a part of success. You can't spell success without failure. That does not say you can't be successful without failing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to spell it out, spell it all the way out, it's some failure in there every time.
Yeah. Malo said that it's great when people are open to critique and suggestions, because being open-minded and coachable it's a key. It only helps us to be the best.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. And then there's two sides of that too. You got to know how to hear sound advice. Listen to that sentence. Hear sound advice. Those three words together is a sentence. Hear sound advice.
Mm-hmm. That, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Now everybody knows how to hear sound advice. Now, I would say that like me, I think I'm very stubborn. I'm pretty sure that I am in a lot of ways. I think that I do pretty good with sound advice. And the whole time that we've been working together, can you recall you or someone else advising me of something that I never came to terms with the sound advice that they were giving me and make an adjustment?
No.
Not one thing?
Nah, I would say for the most part, you're pretty good at when you realize something is sound, you switch instantly. It's not a hold up. You don't wake up groggy like, oh no. It's like, okay.
Like my man was like, y'all should bring out a hat. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about it as this. What if the psychology around the hat was something that we didn't understand? And so that day that the dude said that was actually sound advice he was giving. Like if you actually did what he said and used the hat, the thing about the hat, it creates a different psychology. when they see the hat, they do it. It make it seem more humble. So what if he was on to something, you know? But I determined that that wasn't the most sound advice. And I didn't listen to him. If I failed to make what I wanted to make or create the energy I wanted to create amongst the people, and then he shows up, because he only said that because he saw us, in his mind we probably failed right in front of him. Maybe he saw us not make a lot of money. He was like, "Oh yeah, guys, you guys want to make more money? Get a hat." Because he's just trying to figure out why it didn't work. Sometimes just trying to figure out why it didn't work is this advice. That's the advice where you're just trying to figure out something. Like some people give. That's why I said no advice is good advice, because the people who's advising you, they're just trying to figure shit out too. But the thing is that
So no advice is bad advice.
no, you said no advice is bad advice.
Is that
no? No advice is good. No advice is good advice.
Okay, I see. Okay, never mind. I saw. Never mind. Never mind.
No advice. No advice is bad advice. Is saying that I'm so open minded.
No. That just gave me an insight into into like some of my own psychology. That was cool. That was interesting. So that's good to know.
Yeah, no advice is good advice. That means that even the person advising you, they're just trying to figure it out just like you. But if you listen to them and it works, cool. If you don't listen to them and it fails, it's still cool. But there's different. That means that there has to be different types of advice, because there is an advice that could change the results you got. Like if somebody says like you had a science test coming up, and then somebody said, you said, I want to pass this test, I'm gonna go study math. And they're like, well, I advise you to study science. And you study math anyway, and you fail the test, except the parts of the science that have math in it. And you're like, why'd I fail? Well, because you missed all the science. You had the math, but you missed all the science. And the science was more than half the battle. Is what makes the math work. You gotta have the formula to set up where you actually do the mathematics at. So if you don't put the right formula in place, it won't work. So yeah, there has to be a hierarchy of advice. Like some advice is sound advice. It just means that like it kind of like resonates with you when you heard it, maybe, or with your life and path that you live. You see that advice came through and smoothed some of the edges out. That advice came and brought flow to what was happening. That advice didn't come in and say, that's not what that advice did. That advice was like, or if it did say, the thing that it was like, oh, it was slowing everything down. Something. I'm stubborn as shit. I just learned how to be right a lot of times. So it justifies my stubbornness. Enough. Because the minute that logic comes out, like you said, second, I'm like, oh shit. You got me on that. You got me right there. I can't. I gotta do what you said on that one. You know, so I gotta, like what you said the other day. He's like, yo, I feel like you don't have confidence in me. It's like, no, that's not exactly true. He's like, you, it, you said it though, but it's like, yeah, I might have said that. Maybe that's what you need to hear this time. I don't know as far as your reality in the universe, but for me, maybe it was like what I really was saying is that I didn't have the utmost confidence that you could do it all by yourself. Meaning like if we were on a football team and I was handing the ball off to you to go run the ball like a running back does. I'm not just going to turn my back like, yeah, Richard he get a touchdown right now. I still believe I got to run up the field and block for you because I saw you run before and I know how difficult it could be to get past that line of scrimmage. So I'm still going to try to block. Doesn't mean I don't have confidence in you. I'm just trying to ensure your success. If at all possible for me to be able to do that. The thing is, somebody would say it could be a little bit arrogant of me to think that I could possibly help you to ensure success. But my sister pointed out to me something very important. And I knew this was true before she said it. Because I watched this new thing I found out about. It's called On the Radar. I know about that before. All these rappers came on there and rapped. And I saw that even Drake showed up on there and did a freestyle. And Drake's freestyle was phenomenal. It was like, Drake. That's how his mind works. That's how he's processing information and spitting it back out. That's why he's Drake. I can see that. So if you really pay attention, you know that certain people surround themselves by certain mindsets and information. You meet an older person, they inspire you. You meet some excellent people in this world who've been excellent for the past 30 years. They in their 50s, 60s, and they tell you something that just inspires your mind to like the next level you never knew was possible. People in certain positions get to get that all the time. Some people don't have access to that kind of vibe, or if it was in front of them, they wouldn't even know. They're the swine. They're the swine for the pearls. But Sierra pointed out to me that Beyonce is a person who mastered vocal training. Like singing from your emotion is what they did a long time ago. You listen to it, it's all wrong. Turn any old song that sounds great and listen, maybe not Michael Jackson, not Whitney Houston, but like most of everybody else, they all wasn't really hitting all the notes. Auto-tune, they wasn't hitting all the notes. And but nowadays there's people who got to really high levels with it. Like they high levels. But some people have a naturally good voice. And in their energy and their passion, it just comes through. They might not train as much as she trained. She trained like an Olympic singer to do what she does. Her regimen is developed. She could copyright it, but it's already copyrighted by the people who are her teachers. Various ones. Certain ones at different times in her life came in, helped her to take it to the next level. Teachers. They don't all have to be older than you. But they all are teachers. They all have to teach you something you didn't know. And in order for you to learn it, you have to recognize you didn't know. And you have to practice what they tell you. I have a really good saxophone teacher. We only met once. Because I haven't done all my homework yet. I haven't done it yet. I still have work to do. I've been lacking focus in some ways of doing my homework consistently and every single day. I do it mentally. You tell me what the homework is, I'll think about it every day though. I might not do it physically, the task every day, but every day I'm thinking about it. Every day. Let me see. I had a question for you. Would you like to say something?
I was thinking about your last comment. That made me
Hmm.
think about how I use my thinking, how I use my mind. And it sounds like that even when you don't have time to physically put in work on stuff, you allot time in your mind and you think about it.
What? Man, you know how many times I tried to make a music studio in my brain? I one day I woke up from a dream and I had a song right on my head. And I was like, oh, I like that. The song I made is called Dream House Morning. And after that, I realized that, I learned a little about lucid dreaming. And I realized like, oh, right. If I had enough power and like enough understanding about how my dreams work, I could build like a music studio in my dream and actually like make things. And then it's like, word. And then I also realized that I like to learn things when I'm not doing it. Like I'm a person who could be on the train, listening to music, and you don't know what I'm thinking about. In my mind, I'm trying to understand a particular footwork in basketball, or or the physical mechanics, the physics behind a certain skateboard move. And I'm like, so it twists and then it rotated at the same time. Oh, and then oh, okay. Or so he stepped and he stepped. Then and then okay. Wow, wow, that's dope. Hmm. So like I used to make music. That's what I used to do. I used to like play the music, walk around the room. I used to have a basketball. I used to be in the room with the basketball, just like imitating like layup angles and like crossover moves. Well, like I don't play basketball much. I'm not the best basketball player, but anytime I step on the court, generally if I'm playing with people who have like a basic to moderate skill level, I might do something that a person might acknowledge my skill and say that, oh wow, that at least they saw me tap in the flow state, and that looks good. It looks good to see somebody do like a certain type of crossover directly into a shot, swish right into the basket. They're like, wow, you didn't even think about that. You just did it. There was no hesitation in your release or nothing. You just like whoop whoop, let it go, swish, bottom of the net.
That's cool. Oh yeah, I just got carried away. Oh yeah. Cool.
Sometimes I wish our brain had history cache. You know what I'm saying?
But you can go like to your recent
Yes.
memories.
Yes. I got some stuff in there that some tabs
You
open
can.
from way long. Huh?
You have to sound I think what they say you have to sound or smell associate the memories, and then you can recall them
As
when
you
you
put them in.
you can
That
recall.
exactly. And that's what I'm doing now without even knowing it. All this studying and burning incense and different types of incense from day to day as I study different stuff.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe that's what I'm doing.
mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm creating other associations in my mind so that certain things will be associated to certain smells. And so if I want to recall a certain thing, all I gotta do is make a certain smell present, and it'll take me in that whole vibe of it. Genius way to put that, Richard.
Yeah. Yeah. Now my mind all of a sudden has a new outlook on like when I think of like the shamanic person, like and the different herbs that they burn throughout the day and like
Exactly.
how they walk and lead their life.
Me, I would say with as far as like the different stuff to burn. Like I don't know how I got into it. My dad, my dad wasn't on that. My dad wasn't. My dad nor my mom. They didn't really lead into the practical spirituality. My father leaned into like he loved like research and knowledge and education, and that was his practicality for that. So he could study things, and he loved to study things. But as far as like practical spirituality, he had very few tools, I would say, that represented that. Like he wasn't burning incense all the time, or like stuff like oils and things. My mom, she liked potpourri for the aesthetic and fragrance, but she wasn't a person who kept any crystals or stones or things like that. I don't recall those things being a part of my reality in my childhood. I don't
Mhm.
think that I don't think that my mother was privy to certain things like that, or she didn't believe in that it needed to be that she needed to apply those understandings. She wasn't using that technology. But um, practical spirituality matters to have something connected to the spirit world and the physical world. In the movie Inception, that's what they were talking about, kind of where he had to keep like a stone in his pocket or something, like a coin,
Mhm.
something that he would know that would bring him back to this world. You know, sometimes it's something like that you got to keep, like you got to have like a little keepsake, a little Easter egg that remind you what's really going on. Unless you know how far you have succumbed to bring you back. Like, whoa, I woke up. Like, oh wow, I went kind of far from, got a little far away from myself there, you
Mhm.
know. And that's with my mind and the cachet stuff. It's just like that's just like a way to feel like to try to go back to some and revisit some old versions.
Mhm. Yeah. Ah. Mm. Yeah. I thought about like you mentioned. Remember the name of your rice is like reality is. There's so many. I think you had a lot of acronyms for, it, but reality is
Changing every day,
changing every day.
constantly evolving.
Yeah, right. Reality is constantly evolving.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, there's interesting rain day. Rain days. A lot of people don't have that. They don't. It doesn't exist to them. They wake up. They still gotta do what they gotta do. Me, I kind of like my life to be. I could have a rain day, like where it's raining today, so I don't have to do things if I don't want to. But I usually don't allow for myself to have such a occurrence. Uh, this gives you opportunity to maybe focus on some things you hadn't been focusing on before. Be like, oh, let me think about things this way. Try to revisit some parts of my mind. But I also, the thing is that I also don't do, I don't, uh, I don't revisit the things in my mind too often. I do like reflection daily, weekly, monthly. I have reflections I do reflect on a year. I can reflect on anything, but the thing I don't do is dig into my books and like just start like sifting through like all of my old like memoirs of myself over the ages and try to like bring it up. I know that like at different points, oh my God, I've had some deep ones where I could just like go and just like really like discover a lot of things. Also, my transcendental meditation practices, I would say that I've had some very deep transcendental meditation times in my life, but I do it in stages. I have a time where I don't even do it for a while, where I don't really focus on it for too long. Uh, I might go in for a little bit. I try to get more into it day by day by day. Try to get more into it. Just try to like deepen my practice and working on that.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Like my son every morning, almost every morning, we do we do prayers. He I I watch him respond well to certain spiritual practices that that he through some type of cognition I could feel coming from him. I knew that he would gravitate to, and so I created a daily routine out of that. And every day I watch it bring him calm, like in a profound calm that I know that is becoming a part of his life, whether he knows anything about this practice in his adult life or not. It's a part of him, and it helps me to keep that kind of practice going for myself, even if it's only 5 minutes a day. So there is a small bit of that. As far as like the silent transcendental meditation, I might do it less often. And when I drive the motorbike around too, I do it less often than to drive the motorbike around. I'm uh I'm always uh I'm always you know up and alert. So that's important. It's important to to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that's nice. Somebody's mentioning me back. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I've been meditating. I've been meditating more and listening to meditating more. Starting to read some of the books, some of the nomenclature a little bit more daily actually. So uh, read rebuilding my routines. I think for a while there, I kind of yeah. Uh, I felt I wasn't balanced. I also felt though that I had a lot of I felt like I had so much to catch up on with my you know being interacting with people and trying to more push the business. And so I would find myself a lot many times very you know wanting to push away, not desiring so much to meditate. or practice or maintain my spiritual practice because I felt like I need to I need to get this work done, get this. And I had many different ideas that were like emerging, and I felt like I had to. They all felt relevant. Um, I, you know, I had a few moments there where I just was completely out of. I just felt like I had no more energy, and it was
Mhm.
really because I wasn't managing well. So that led me now. I realize that I tend to go to I'm steering more towards a balance rather than extremes.
Mhm. Important.
Um, ooh, mm,
Yeah.
I think I think our mm,
Yeah. Man, I got some pretty good meditation music. Did you check that out? That's into you. Did you give it a try?
I have.
What you think of it?
You're the one you produced, right?
I didn't produce that.
Wait, what's your meditation music?
I sent you a link recently, a YouTube link for meditation
When?
music. I know I did. Oh, not too long ago.
If you sent it to me, I listened to it.
Mhm.
What'd you send it to me on?
Text message. It's meditation music. Doesn't sound like you listen to it. 'Cause I think you probably missed it.
Yeah, I may not have got it. You said you sent it when?
Less than a week ago.
Oh yeah, I listened to it. I remember listening to it.
Oh, this guy. This guy's fried.
All right, yo.
All right, yo, what's up? You finished?
Yeah, I'm gonna end the live. I'm gonna give you a call though. Oh, but I'm gonna end the live.
Word.
All right, bro.
Oh,
power plant podcast out.
Right.
Mhm. Alright.